Ladies and gentlemen, it's Travis here, and welcome back to the SF Bay Area SportsTalk channel. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today, and welcome to a very exciting video as we are previewing the Week 17 matchup. The San Francisco 49ers going on the road, looking to get a huge win at the Washington Commanders. And when you look at the Commanders' record, you kind of have to throw that out the window because any football team that you're going to be playing every Sunday, I mean, they are going to be giving it their best, and you know the Commanders are going to be trying to be playing the spoiler role. So for the 49ers, I mean, this is a huge game. Obviously, you're coming off, a rough loss against the Ravens. But the good news is that you have a couple games before the end of the regular season to really put it together. And the 49ers, they can build some serious momentum going into the playoffs. So you're really excited about this opportunity. And after this game, I mean, the Rams, they have been playing really good football. So you know that division battle is not going to be easy. So for the San Francisco 49ers to get the number one seed, the goal is crystal clear. They just have to win out these final two games. And the game against the Commanders, this is one of those games that you can't be looking ahead to the Rams game. Again, I mean, this Commanders team, you expect it's going to be a battle. Jacoby Brissett and the Commanders, they're going to give it their best out there, and you're playing in their house. But the 49ers, they have shown, I mean, their ability to go on the road and play incredible football has just been very impressive. And I'm expecting the San Francisco 49ers to bounce back big time after a tough loss against the Ravens. And, I mean, when you look at that Ravens game, in my opinion, I think it ends up being a blessing in disguise. You were on a 6-game winning streak. Things were rolling. And, I think that to take a step back and to kind of see where you can get better. And, you learned a lot about yourself from this game. And as we know, I mean, if you do not win the turnover battle, if you do not take care of the football, it's going to be very tough to win football games, let alone to be the best team arguably in the AFC. So, when I look at this game, you still almost had an opportunity at the end to make it a one-score game. And to me, you put yourself in that situation, considering you had 5 turnovers in the game. So for the 49ers to show resilience, fight back in the game, and to just only end up losing by a couple of touchdowns, I think that as bad as the game was, you do take some positives out of the game that I think, should you meet the same Baltimore Ravens team down the line in the Super Bowl, I think that you're going to have a better game plan and be ready to face them. In this game, I mean, when you look at the Ravens game, I think Kyle Shanahan maybe overthought things a little too much, tried to, the way that the Niners started off the game, they kind of looked at the film of what the LA Rams did very successful against the Baltimore Ravens. Rams ran the football very well against the Ravens. And so the 49ers, we know that that is our specialty, running the football, powerhouse running, MVP candidate, Christian McCaffrey. So you're going into this game against the Ravens, and you're thinking, well, the Ravens are expecting us to run the football. So Kyle Shanahan, they went with some more pass plays to begin this game, thinking that the Ravens, you're expecting that they're expecting us to run the football. So, a little bit about maybe you overthought a little bit too much. I feel like, even if the defense knows you're going to run the football, when you've got Christian McCaffrey, you run the football because you force the issue and make the defense try to stop you in that situation. And so I think that when you looked at the second half, I think you saw the Niners running the football more efficiently, which allowed them to get back in the football game against the Ravens. So you come out of that game and, you are extremely motivated to make adjustments. And when I look at the defense, they allowed big plays, but I thought they also came through clutch and made big stops against the Ravens. And I feel like in that situation of the game, the defense for the Niners, they had been out there a long period of time, so they weren't able to get, I feel like, the rest that they needed, and got tired in the game, which I feel like, certainly affected it. That's probably had an impact on the game and how it finished out. So look, definitely a frustrating loss, but the good news is that you have a short week and you have an opportunity against this Washington Commanders team to go on the road, put together a complete performance as the 49ers look to build momentum towards the playoffs. And I mean, what an opportunity. The road to securing the number 1 seed is crystal clear. You win out these final 2 games and you get the number 1 seed. And I mean, that would be absolutely huge. The good thing with the Niners, I mean, they have shown the ability to go on the road and win big games. But I mean, it would be so huge if you can get home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. As we've seen, the Niners' last 2 NFC championship games were on the road. And so when you look at how big it would be if you can host a potential NFC championship game, have the crowd behind you, and it'd be huge. And look, this is going to be shaping up to be a very exciting playoff run. This team is determined. The ultimate goal is to win a 6th Lombardi trophy. And when you look at how well this Niners team is playing, the skilled players we have on offense, I mean, Brock Purdy playing at an MVP level, Christian McCaffrey playing at an MVP level. Now, in regards to the MVP conversation, when you look at how the game went against the Ravens, unfortunately, we probably would have to say that Lamar Jackson probably has gone ahead in the front running for the MVP conversation. But, at the end of the day, MVP is not important. Super Bowl trophies is what really matters. And for the 49ers, I mean, we could care less about MVP. We want to win the Super Bowl. So when you look at the whole MVP conversation, it's a fun conversation. And, there is, look, I think it's incredible that we get to see a running back in Christian McCaffrey in the MVP conversation, considering, the lack of the disrespect that we've seen towards running backs and their importance. So to have a running back in like Christian McCaffrey in the MVP conversation, that is something that is really awesome to see. And look, I think he's got a great chance to win the award. What he has done this year, 1,395 rushing yards, and he is averaging 5.4 yards a carry on 258 carries this season and 21 touchdowns. I mean, just absolutely incredible. Christian McCaffrey, and still just a couple of games remaining, and he will definitely be padding to those stats. So it's going to be really fun to see, where he ends up finishing in the MVP conversation. And certainly, I think he's got a great opportunity to win the award. And so when we're taking a look at this matchup, I feel like the Niners, this is a game that you should win, but you can't take this Commanders team lightly. I think that they can show at times play at a high level. So you got to come out early in this game, execute your game plan, and really put that Ravens game behind you. And I mean, you come out, put together a complete performance, get a huge win against this Washington Commanders team. I mean, it would be absolutely huge as the Niners look to build momentum towards the playoffs. 2 games to go to finish out the regular season, and the San Francisco 49ers, the number 1 seed, they can clinch the number 1 seed with wins in their final 2 games. And I mean, it is a very good opportunity, but it is not going to be easy. When you look at after the Commanders game, you got a hot LA Rams team, which is playing really good football. So that is going to be an incredible division battle to finish out this season. And I think for the 49ers, those are the kind of games that you want to be playing heading into the playoffs. And I mean, to get the number 1 seed would be so huge. You get the first round bye, and I feel like to get the rest, to get that extra week of rest, I think health is so key to winning a Super Bowl. And I feel like in the NFL, the first round bye argument, I feel like that is where it helps you the most, because when you're looking at the rest that the players get before you head into divisional round weekend and everything. But as far as other sports go, baseball, and when you see these long layoffs from teams, and baseball, we've really seen it a lot where teams with byes, where they've had time off, it's you can make the argument it's gotten them out of rhythm and not as fresh, whereas the team that is consistently playing, having to scratch and claw to advance in the playoff tournament, it seems that those teams have been able to knock off the teams that have had that time off. But as far as football goes, I really do believe getting the first round bye is really huge, and I think it is working better even now. That now it's just one team that gets the bye uh, in the respective conferences, where before it used to be the 1 and the 2 seed. But with the additional playoff teams added, they have now gone with just the 1 seed getting the first round bye. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense because to me, the advantage, the key to getting that extra week off, I mean, I think it pays huge dividends when it comes to playoffs and going to Super Bowl. That rest, really, I think it's key. So for the Niners, not only you're talking about to get the rest, and for this Niners team, health is a key factor. Unfortunately, Eric Armstead is still going to be out. He has been out for quite some time, battling a foot injury, praying that he is going to be able to get back as soon as possible, because I think you have seen the defensive line not be as sharp with Armstead out, and so I think that the Niners' health is key. So if you can get that first round bye, be able to get healthy, I think it's going to be putting you in a nice position for a Super Bowl run. Welcome in, everyone, to the San Francisco 49ers weekly preview show as we are breaking down and previewing this week's matchup at the Washington Commanders here in Week 17. The San Francisco 49ers look to bounce back after a very tough loss, 33-19 against the Baltimore Ravens. And when you look at the opportunity here, you can still secure the number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs with wins in your final 2 games. So you look at the opportunity here, you can put this Ravens loss right behind you and get right back on track as you look to build momentum towards the playoffs. The Niners look to finish on a high note, and I mean, this is a game that you can't take the Commanders lightly, and I expect the Niners to dominate this football game, put up 30 plus points. And for my score prediction in this game, I'm gonna say I think the Niners will win this game 42-14. I'm gonna say against the Commanders, I think the Niners will put up 40 plus points in this game. I think the Niners, that last game left a bitter taste in our mouths, and I expect us to come out in this game and play very sharp football, and I think they will win this game in a blowout. So I couldn't be more excited for the opportunity as we look to secure the number 1 seed. What a game it is going to be. The San Francisco 49ers going on the road to take on the Washington Commanders. And for my player to watch in this game, I have got Brock Purdy. I think he is going to have a big performance, really uncharacteristic for the game he had last week to have 4 interceptions. Obviously, some of those, batted passes and, weren't entirely his fault, but you love the confidence that you saw from Brock Purdy, even after the interceptions. Those interceptions never cut into his confidence. He continued to battle out there, continued to be an excellent leader, and I'm expecting a big time bounce back performance in this game against the Commanders. I think he's going to throw for 300 plus passing yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, and have an excellent game. So I can't wait to see how it's going to play out. Thank you everyone so much for checking out this week's San Francisco 49ers weekly preview. Glad you could join us as we break down the excitement and the upcoming matchup this week as the San Francisco 49ers going on the road in week 17 to take on the Washington Commanders. And let's make some noise for the YouTube algorithm, and let's smash up the like button. Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate your feedback. Smashing the like button, this lets the YouTube algorithm know that this San Francisco 49ers preview show is important, so YouTube can recommend this San Francisco 49ers preview show to as many San Francisco 49ers fans and 49ers faithful. Thank you so much, everyone. And if you enjoy these 49ers weekly preview shows, we're going to be breaking it down each and every week, before the game and following the game every week. So definitely, if that sounds good to you, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Take care, and let's go, San Francisco 49ers. Have a great one, 49ers faithful.